Hey there. I was gonna wait until I got a microphone and maybe a chest mount. Plus I need a better PC that will edit these videos a little bit more efficiently. I decided that I'll just go ahead and shoot the video shipping this fish. And you don't get to ship a fish often. I will let you see how I go about packaging this fish. It's gonna be a giant pain in the ass. I'll use these skewers here as well as foam. And we'll make a nice foam case for it, and then we'll put that inside a box, and it'll be a long ordeal. This isn't really a fish. It's fiberglass reproduction of a fish, but it still has the fins. It's made of fiberglass. You can just tell by the painting that somebody painted this, and it's not a real fish, but it's worth the exact. If I had this fish taxidermy, I would probably get about maybe $100 more, but that would be like a big if, and this sold like nearly instantly. I got $199 for this fish. First, we need to get a piece of foam that is the right length, and this one is not. This is all the thick foam I have left, so I'm almost certainly gonna have to go buy more foam, which really sucks. It doesn't fit. Ooh. Okay. So I do have, it does fit this way on this side right now here, but this gets thinner as it goes down because not all my cuts are perfect. Ah! Don't want the fish to fall off. Okay, so number one. Now we have a base to work from. First things I'm going to do here, these fins need to be supported. And they're both on an angle, and they're both super fragile. This fin here also needs to be supported. On an angle, super fragile. So I'm going to have to get pieces of foam that fit, and then I'm going to have to carve them down at an angle to make them fit without putting pressure, because you don't want pressure on any of these fins. Real fins like this, these have a little bit of weight to them. I don't know if this is completely handmade or if they cast a regular fish. I don't know. But these are way more stout than an actual fin would be. I do a lot of real taxidermy shipping too, and these would be so thin and super fragile on the edges here. It will break up on the edges. See, I don't have to worry about any of that with these, but they're still fragile. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to break them off, but they're nothing like what the fins on a real fish would look like. First things first, let's get some pieces of foam. So these pieces are a different kind of foam than I've been using most of the day. It's cushier, and it doesn't have these little ball pieces. It's easier to carve. And it doesn't leave a mess. So what we're gonna do, now we have a line on this. I'm going to do this one by eye. Hopefully not leave any marks on our fish fins. See, now I'm propping this up somehow from over here. Okay, so 2 fins down. Now we also need to do this back here. That's real close. Oh. There we go. Alright. Now those are those fins. So we still got to do this fin and this fin. I got these markers with the long nib because it's supposed to make it to where I don't have to hit things. Perfect. We're still making contact there. Not here as much. Alright. Now, we're back at a slightly different angle and hopefully not swinging too much. It was super hard to get this connected back the way it was before. I'm thinking this angle is almost certainly too sharp. Yeah. Well, yeah. And it's not deep enough. So we don't need much there. I don't need to cover the whole fin. On a regular fin, I would go at least all the way back here to where it meets the back part of the fish right here. But this fin is like super thick even right here. See, if it was a real fish, it would be thin all the way up to right here, and then it would be thick. But this isn't a real fish. I'm thinking I just need to protect the tip. Okay. Now I'm also going to use this piece to support our head over here. And then that's everything supported. Now we have to do everything that we did here, but from a different angle. So we got to do it from the top down now. And I've found that using these is the best way to keep all this foam in the right spot. I think I just gave myself a splinter. So like this. That. Each side to kind of get that treatment. The thing is, I like to set the whole thing up before I put these in, but right. Gotta bring out the big guns. So I might be doing all this in vain. I might have to remove these because I really have to plan out what I'm going to do on the top. Because as important as all this stuff was, the top part's going to be just as important, so... Okay. So now we got none of these moving. So we can, if we need to, we can take the fish off. We can put it right back down on all our stuffs. I'll just sharpen each side of this. Cut it in half. Alright, now I gotta figure out what the next step is as far as on top cushioning. I'm thinking, honestly, about putting a strap right here. We'll put some foam some of the thinner this stuff, but the really thin version of this stuff, we'll put a barrier of that in between, and then we can put a strap running through the foam on each side, and then that will hold it to this foam so that we can flip it over and guard against all these other sides. Make some pillars. We're going to put pillars on each corner, and it'll be strapped down. The thing is, I was thinking strap, but I could totally use like the trash tie wire that I used for other stuff. Let me go get a piece of foam and some wire. Okay, see, we can take this and put this here, and then we'll take this and we'll poke here, and we'll poke here, and we'll get us all the way through, and we'll also poke here and here to get all the way through, and we'll take the fish off. Just through. Now we can do one of these bad boys. Oh, come on. Am I really gonna have to make a hole? This one might not be long enough. I guess we'll see once we get the fish on here. Alright, now let's see if both those are long enough. They may not be. See? Tell me that's not awesome. Right there. This thing, it's going nowhere. I'm gonna throw. Kind of worried about that one. Even though it's not really moving, I'm just gonna. Okay. So now we just need to figure out how to make another tower. Alright. I'm gonna use this blue stuff. I got this from an auctioneer for free. This stuff is usually just like drastically way too expensive to ever use for this application. I would never buy this stuff. But I got it for free and I've had it forever. So we'll use it. So I need 4 pillars. Alright. Also, this stuff is like way too hard for any practical use on like a package. So we want to go a little bit higher than this fin. But that's not all right. Well, shit. It's been a while since I've done a fish. I do fish, but it's been a while, and this is kind of taxing. This guy's gonna be like, why are there all these wood chips around my fish? Okay. Got 4 pillars. Nothing's moving. I was thinking we would do the same things with these that we did there, and we would have a fully encased box here. But my new thought is that if I fill this gap between here and the top, I mean, the fish isn't coming this way. Like, period. At all. It's not going anywhere. Anyway. You know what I'm saying? So, if I just fill this gap, we'll have an air gap around all of these. And we won't really need to put foam on those. I really just needed them to where they wouldn't hit the bottom when I strapped it down. So I'm going to get another big piece to be our top piece. So we got this. Now I just need to fill this gap right here, and only on the fish's belly, really. So if we could make this work, I'm thinking I could double this up. Will that be enough? It is enough, but just barely. It might put a little bit too much pressure on the fish. I don't know, though, honestly. One thing I'm afraid of if I were to do other sides of these, this right now, when this guy sees this, all he has to do is take the top off, undo these, and he can pull his fish right off. If I encase these on each side, then he's going to have to know how to slide them out and how to fix them. I did a neon sign where I had to put written instructions on how to pull out each piece of foam so that they didn't pull up. If I do it incorrectly, this guy's going to have to pull up on some of this and might break the fins, and then he'll say it happened in shipping and I'll get screwed. So what we're going to do is that is perfect. Now we got that like that. I really should have just got some snips or something for those, but whatever. See, this stupid blue stuff is so hard. When I get done, I'm going to wrap all this. Wrap like I did the other stuff. This is so much harder than my pocket knife. All right. And there we are. So I'm really just telling them that they need to lift this side off first, and then they can just untie the fish and pull it out. Alright, now we got a bunch of garbage in my way. I can't even put these really in my... I would love to use these as in my packing peanuts box, but I can't because they're just too hard. So I guess I'll throw them away. It kind of sucks. I really hate throwing stuff away, as you can see through my packing material stuff here. Alright, so we got a fish that's moving nowhere. We got our foam box all together, and to stabilize it, we're just going to grab this and start wrapping. Right now it's kind of wobbly. It doesn't want to stay. But if I just give her one of these, then it shouldn't be as bad. And we're not putting a whole lot. I was wrapping tight up here, but because I got the pillars, but I don't want to press in too hard on this fish. So we're just going real light right here. I sure hope you can see me. Okay. So see, there we go. Our fish is all in there. All the fins are protected. It's not moving. And now we can fit this inside a box, and I'll still surround this with foam. Each side will have foam on it. I might not have a box that's long enough, honestly. Well, I'm gonna have to go look for a box. I've got these fresh flowers boxes that I typically use for wrapping DVDs. But it looks like this one might be perfect. I kind of hate to do it up and down. But I mean, they could turn the other pack upside down too, so it's not like... Yeah, I think I might use this. This is like perfect. We'll just put some foam down in here. I don't think that's doing much, but they won't see the open fish's mouth when they open the package. So we don't have a whole lot of room on the two ends, so I'm probably going to use thin foam for the ends and see if we have enough room to still close the box. If I didn't have foam on the ends, it's not the end of the world, because on the tail side I have like 2 inches of foam between the tail and the end, and then on this side we have this. I'm thinking I might just... Yeah, we're not going to have room. I'm just going to leave the foam out of this side, because we have so much room on the tail side. We're just going to flip the fish over, actually, like this. Since we have so much room back here, look, that's at least 1.5 inches of foam, and the fish isn't moving. So now I'm going to need foam for each side. It looks like I might have to do foam, thin foam on these sides. And then thick foam on these sides. And we are going to use like just the last amount of my foam. It's awesome. It's the perfect amount. I do have to go get foam today, but I won't have to go get foam for this package, which is pretty nice. And that's how I ship a fish, people. We still got a little room here. Huh? It's not like it doesn't have foam on each side anyway. Check it out. This isn't full of fresh flowers. It's full of a fake fish, so we'll have to cover all that stuff up. Plus, I don't like these holes here. I don't know if you can see them. These holes aggravate me, and the handles aggravate me. I think they look bad. So I will take a knife and cut out pieces of cardboard that fit those, and we'll plug all those holes. I wish I had my scissors. I've got scissors somewhere on this table. Sometimes they fall down in my packaging bin here, which really sucks. Well, I don't know where my scissors are. I really would like to have scissors. It would be super nice. There they are. I'm going to shut up. I will probably fast forward this at like 5 times or something of me filling all these holes. And that's pretty darn good, if I'd say so myself. Check that out. That's pretty good. You gotta admit, that's pretty good. This is what these long nib markers are for right here. I saw them on Adam Savage's Tested channel, which I watch a lot. Love Adam Savage. I also want to cover up this side ups because we don't want that side up. So I need 2 for each side. I already got 2. I need 6 more. And we'll need big ones too for the handle pieces. I generally don't think this customer would care if I left these holes in the box if I just taped over them, but what if something pokes? What if something pokes my fish through those holes? I don't think this is offering a whole lot more protection, but it looks more professional. There's not big indentations in the box when they get it. I want them to have a positive experience as soon as they see the box, so throw these away. Well, we might need these to fill, like I had to fill here before I... I just got an eBay notification. Oh, it's a message from the guy who bought this fish. Let's see what he has to say. It might not be the guy who bought this fish. It is the guy who bought the fish. We had gone back and forth in the messages because I just listed this fish and it sold really quick. And he was trying to get me to take an offer. And I told him I would take an offer in, I don't know, like a month or something. But I just listed it and I want to see if I can get full price for it first. So... that's what our messages were kind of about. Good enough. Nice. And that's it, people. I know it took an hour after I changed my battery, so you probably watched for at least an hour before that a bunch of footage that I'm gonna have to edit. But that's how I ship a fish. And a fish is one of the hardest, most time-consuming things to pack, I think, anyway. Taxidermy's pretty bad. Like, I've shipped whole deer shoulder mounts. Those are a real pain in the ass, because not only are they fragile, like its ears and stuff like that, but they're huge. So you gotta get a huge box, and you gotta put a whole lot of protection in there. A deer is no fun. You can make a good deal on them, or you can make nice money on them if you get it for a decent price, though, because people pay a lot to have deers taxidermied, so they're kind of expensive. We don't want them to think it contains water, and we don't want them to be crappy about keeping it refrigerated, the postal service, because keeping things refrigerated costs extra money, whatever carrier you use. I've never shipped any refrigerated packages, so I don't know what that entails, but I'm guessing it's an extra cost and I didn't pay it, so I can't have it on the box. Alright. Once again, this is for the customer, not for the carrier. We get a little happy fish on the box there. So generally, when I draw or write fragile on top of tape, I put clear tape over top of it because it'll rub off. And it'll stain your mail carrier's hands, and that's kind of crappy. If it doesn't stain your hands while you're taking it You don't have to tape over this because this dries like nearly instantly. The cardboard sucks it up. So, but if you leave it on the tape, it takes at least 10 minutes to dry, and you're still gonna get. It's still gonna rub off even when it's dry if it comes into contact with anything super hard. So. And we will give them, oops, messed up that one, but that's okay. We'll give them another happy fish. That's kind of like a moonfish, huh? A little bit wider. It looked like a moonfish. All right. So that's it right there. That's it and that's all. I think I might have sold something in between now and then, but I'm not going to make you watch me pack that, plus it gives me less to edit. I will get this weighed up and let you know how much it costs. So this only ended up weighing 4 pounds, and it's going to cost me $17.08 to send it to Michigan. But I'm also going to pay for insurance because I'm only insured up to $100, and this was $200. So that's going to cost me another $4. So it ends up coming to $21.43 with insurance to ship this to John in Michigan. And hopefully John is happy that it went out so quick, because he just paid for it this morning. And it was a giant pain in the butt to ship, so hopefully this makes it. So that's the end. I have a couple more things to ship, but I'm not going to make you sit through those since we already did the fish. Thanks so much for hanging out and watching me ship the fish, and I hope you come back, watch some more. Thanks again. See you later.